go on is for those ready to start anew. Last week I was really sick, which is very symbolic of ending Year of the Snake, entering Year of the Horse. Ooh, horse. Just hanging out with the horses in the wilderness. So I can enter this coming Vietnamese New Year with their energy. Also, out with the ferns, as we talked about last time, your environment and everything you consume is part of your reality and your belief system and all the things that make your life life. So, because I missed last week, I would like to share my process that I do when I become ill. Becoming sick usually means you are going through life with a significant amount of resistance and something needs to change, especially when you become as ill as I was. It was not like a common cold, it was a very severe fever for quite a few days. And when this happens to my daughter or I tend to jump right into inner work right after I make myself comfortable. So, first, we play a game on how I can be the most comfortable I possibly can as I'm healing. Then, after I hit comfortable and I feel a little bit better and lose a little bit of resistance, I start doing the inner work. This time, I employed help from my daughter and my friends because I myself could not see at all or comprehend anything that I've been doing intentionally every single day that wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. So I didn't know where my point of resistance was. So I asked for help. And I was also kind of delirious because I was on a high fever for like 4 or 5 days by the time I got to there. So, um, I started going through everything and going minute by minute what I spend my time on. And I had a conversation the week of Christmas that I've had for years, and I realized something about it didn't sit right with me. I was talking about how I've been wanting to leave the country basically for 30 years since the first time I left the country when I was very small. And it didn't suit right with me. I don't know. I felt weird. Usually I feel really empowered when talking about it, but something had changed. And I brought that up and I told my daughter, hey, I think the reason I don't want to get married is because I feel like if I do get married, I'll be forced to stay here. And then she met me with a thought that I never, ever, ever considered, which was, why don't we just stay? And it's funny how trauma works because when you're traumatized, you have a belief that helps you survive that trauma and gives you hope in order to make it through. And then when you're out of the trauma and you're in a good space, those beliefs and those systems no longer make sense or work, especially if you're trying to create something outside of that environment that I have grown up out of and have left successfully. And I'm very, very far away. And if I'm really, really real with myself, I kind of did leave the country. It's just the United States is so big. It's considered the same country, but everything's different. The way people speak, the accents, the clothing, the culture, everything is completely different from where I grew up on the East Coast versus here in the Pacific Northwest. So I realized I was spending a lot of my energy looking up rentals in other countries, looking up passports, looking up the political climate in other countries, looking up the healthcare in other countries. And now I get all those hours back to create what I want for real. And I was like, wow, that's huge. Is there anything else? And my daughter and I, we made a list of all the things that I should continue to put my energy in. And we also came up with a pretty good list of all the stuff that I don't really need to be doing anymore because we're safe and we're healthy. So it's interesting how environments change your perspective. And sometimes the environment doesn't change, but your perspective changes so much that it feels completely different. So glad to see you in a new year. keep going, and we'll see you next week.